It is time to expand minds through movies, TV, sports, and flicks. It is time to boldly go where no podcast has gone before. It is time for the Captain Talks Flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Welcome to the Captain Talks Flicks podcast. I'm your host, Captain Che Cortez, aka Mr. Love, and this is where we talk flicks. And ladies and gentlemen, I have a question to ask you. What are you paying attention to on the screens? What are you looking at? What are you giving attention? And I'm going to get into that first couple things. I want to give a big shout out to Miami, Florida. Got some plays over Miami this past week. Gracias, gratitude, Torba, and Miami. I've always wanted to fly down there, hang out, chill, go to Blue Fountain Hotel, hang out, see the sights. And one of these days, probably go down and check you out. And additionally, this episode is brought to you by the album called Doing the Impossible by yours truly, Captain Che Cortez. It's me rapping in my unique style over synthy, spacey, crazy beats, influenced heavily by the Mission Impossible franchise. So if you want to hear me, the Captain, rapping, check out the album called Doing the Impossible. I'll put the link below. Check it out. Now, let's get on with the podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this current society world, we are surrounded by screens. I was talking to my lady last night, and she was just telling me, bro, there is tons of screens in this world. She looked around my place, and she's like, look at all the screens, screen there, screen. And yes, it is true. We are heavily influenced by these screens. All types of images, videos, words, language, sound, sights to be seen on these screens. And I would even say this. I think these screens are programming our minds. I've talked about this over and over again on this podcast because I believe it is true. Now, how much? I'm not sure. But I guarantee you, everybody that consumes images, videos, language on these screens is getting influenced in some way, somehow. So if you believe this is true, you think this is true, maybe we should sit back and really analyze and think about what are we giving our attention to on these screens? Really, if this is true, what are we looking at? What are we watching on these screens? Because what we see might just be influencing you. Take stock, write down, what do I watch? What do I pay attention to? Who do I follow? Who do I listen to? And really think, is this leveling me up or is this making my life worse? If you're hearing me right now, unless you've listened to me many times, you've heard my podcast, you see this on the screen, here on the screen. If I'm not helping you out, cut me off, get rid of me. I'm just saying, bro, take what's gonna level up your life. If that means cut me off, do your thing, bro. I want you to have a magnificent life. That is my goal for you. And if I'm part of that journey, cool. If I'm not, doesn't matter. I just want you to be happy and get what you want. So yes, I do this all the time. In fact, this year, 2025, for me, is The Purge. I've talked about this before in the podcast, and when I say The Purge, I'm looking at everything I consume visually, screens included, and I'm go ahead and say, is this good for me or not? And if not, I'm getting rid of it. I've been doing it all year, cutting things off, getting rid of things, adding things. I'm trying to change my life, and I believe the path to changing my life, and our lives, and everyone's life, is what you think, and what we think sometimes is based on what's on the screens. So if you want to shift your life, you have to shift your thoughts and shift your actions, right? And if these screens are influencing our thoughts, they are influencing our actions. So what will you think? What will you consume, right? Bend your mind, shape your mind, reprogram your mind. It's my everyday living, walking path. And if you do change your mind and change your actions, you will get different results. If you try to mold, sculpt, or manipulate your attention to what you look at screens, it may just benefit your life in a positive way significantly, depending on what actions you take from that. So go on your Instagram, go on to TikTok, what you watch on all these apps, these screens, these YouTube, these shows, these TV shows, these movies, and really consume things that you think might level you up, whatever that may be. And your path may be different than mine. It is, right? But whatever you need to shape your life the way you want it, consume that. Now, there's always time to watch some mindless enjoyment. I watched some pet videos last week. That's not really leveling me up. Although I did learn some lessons watching it. But really, what are you paying attention to the screen? And this is going to enhance your life. I know I've talked about this over and over again. It is getting repetitive, but I want to be sure and be clear that you understand and I understand and we know how powerful these are. Now, this might not be true at all, but I read a lot of books from a lot of smart people that do confirm that this is probably true. I've seen a lot of experts on videos, read books, heard podcasts that kind of tell me that this is probably true. Might not be though, but if it is, why not try it out? Now, one thing I can say for sure, and I even dreamt about this last night. I feel that our thoughts lead to our actions, which shape our life, right? And our thoughts are heavily influenced by these screens. I don't see how you can think any different about it, but maybe it's not true. I know back in the day, you see people in entertainment say, oh, we're not responsible for shaping people's minds at all. We don't do none of that. That's the parents' responsibility. Now, my current belief is that everything you're exposed to does influence you some way. And some are stronger than others. A lot of narratives come at you. There's narratives from the people you work with. There's narratives from your family, friends, right? There's narratives from what's on the screen. There's narratives from the music you listen to, the movies you watch, and all these are competing narratives. And whatever narrative is the strongest, I feel that we go ahead and lean into and act on, right? So whose narrative the strongest? It's the battle of the narratives, right? And these screens play a huge role in it, more so than I was young. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. But they are playing a role. So really, be mindful of what you consume on the screen. Be mindful of what you give your attention to on these screens, and just in life in general. Additionally, this has nothing to do with screens, but the people around you are also shaping your mind. Who has access to you daily in your physical presence? Who's in your space, your place around you? Who talks to you? Who's feeding your mind with ideas? I mean, serious, these are shaping your mind all the time. And you may be aware of this, you may not. Some people know this, some people do not. Now, this may be nonsense. It might not be true. It could be just total nonsense. But I do think this might be happening. And if it is, why don't we go ahead and redirect our attention to things that will level us up? So, ladies and gentlemen, I always talk about this periodically, so I want to make sure we remember, if you're new to the podcast, share something that you might not know. Really, where are your eyeballs, ears going as far as attention on these screens? That I feel it plays a crucial role in our thought processes. So go ahead, prune those feeds, mind those feeds, and who knows, in a year if you do that, maybe your life will change significantly in the direction you want to go in. Can't guarantee it. I can't promise you that this will happen, but it just might work. Now, one last thing I want to say. 2-3 years ago, I started shifting my consumption of things on the screen to a certain way that I wanted to get certain results and you need to act in a certain way. And I did do that. And then fast forward 3-4 years later, the results I was after did start to manifest, right? I watched these people, I consumed these things, got these ideas, studied them, looked at them, talked about them, thought about them, then went ahead, took action, and based on that, my life did move in the different direction based on that. This is anecdotal evidence, obviously, but it did work, and it might work for you. It can't be guaranteed. But if you don't do the work and don't try, you'll never know. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to change your life, possibly change your attention of what you watch on these screens. It may or may not work. I said it's not guaranteed, but it might just work for you. Who knows? So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you. We are currently in month 6 of 2025. We're halfway through the year. 2025 is halfway over, baby. And we're about to move into 26 in 6 months. It's coming, believe it or not. Pretty soon it'll be Christmas time. I'll be like, bro, the year went by so quick. Yeah, I guarantee, snap a finger. It'll be there. And one additional thing. Today is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers across the universe. If you have children, which I do not, bravo, congratulations, you brought another life into planet Earth, right? I'm living on planet Earth because someone gave me life, my father, right? Straight up. So if you're walking on planet Earth, someone gave you life, go celebrate that person, you know what I mean, if you want. So bravo to you for living, for having a person that gave birth to you, give you life, hopefully gave you a lot of fatherly advice and all those kind of things to help mold you to a strong young woman or young man. Let's give a shout out to all those guys out there that's doing the work, take care of the business, and someday maybe the captain might be a father himself. So ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you. And until next time, we'll see you. In order to live free and happily, you must sacrifice boredom. It is not always an easy sacrifice. Richard Bach. Till next time, it's Captain Peace.
The Captain Talks.